The White House today reinforced a stark warning to the government of Syria's Bashar al-Assad against using chemical weapons. Last night, the administration announced that the U.S. had detected, quote, potential preparations by the regime to use the banned weapons again. Chief Foreign Affairs correspondent Margaret Warner reports.
President Assad was seen today touring a Russian airbase just hours after last night's White House statement. It warned that the Syrian regime would pay a heavy price for launching another chemical attack. Today, the Pentagon elaborated, saying the U.S. had seen active preparations for chemical weapons use at Shirat Air Base near Homs in western Syria. Nancy Youssef is senior national security correspondent at BuzzFeed.
The Pentagon told us that they saw evidence of planes that were used to conduct aerial chemical attacks in the past being moved around on Shirat Airfield. We also heard reports of chatter happening on the ground in preparation for a possible imminent attack. The number of people who knew was so limited, and the message from the White House was so ominous that it created a real confusion that we're just not used to.
A chemical weapons attack was launched from that same base in April, killing dozens of men, women, and children. The Syrians denied responsibility. But President Trump ordered the U.S. military to fire 59 Tomahawk missiles at the base. Mr. Trump's response was a sharp departure from his predecessor's caution about intervening in Syria's civil war. In 2012, President Obama famously warned that the use of chemical weapons would constitute a red line triggering U.S. action. But instead, after a deadly August 2013 attack on a Damascus suburb, then Secretary of State John Kerry and Russia worked on a deal with Assad that aimed to get rid of his chemical arsenal. Trump officials say that strategy clearly didn't work, and it's taking a tougher approach to Syria and its key backers. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley spoke at a House hearing today.
I believe that the goal is at this point not just to send Assad a message, but to send Russia and Iran a message that if this happens again, we are putting you on notice.
A spokesman for Russian President Vladimir Putin retorted, such threats to Syria's legitimate leaders are unacceptable. Iran's foreign minister said another dangerous U.S. escalation in Syria on fake pretext will only serve ISIS, the Islamic State group. Since the April 3rd U.S. missile barrage, the U.S. has had several confrontations with pro-Assad forces, shooting down a Syrian Air Force jet and an armed Iranian-made drone. In response, Russia has threatened to target coalition aircraft in certain parts of Syria. Today, it's unclear what the broader U.S. strategy is.
Is the U.S. committed to a form of deterrence against the regime for possible chemical attacks? And if so, in what form? Going forward, will the U.S. put out a statement every time it suspects chemical attacks? Is that what we are to take away from yesterday's statement?
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Margaret Warner.